It was everything I ever dreamed it would be. It made me so happy. And that was my last goth night ever. I feel so lucky I had my dream goth night experience. Sometimes when I'm listening to music, certain songs will just make me imagine a scene at the club. And one of those songs, one of my favorite songs ever, honestly, is Baby Turns Blue by the Virgin Prunes. I absolutely love that song, and it's one of those songs that always lifts my mood and makes me feel good pretty much no matter what's going on. Recently, I was listening to Baby Turns Blue by the Virgin Prunes, and I was just like having a fantasy, imagining it coming on at the club, which I know I've heard it at the club before, but it has been a minute actually. I know that might sound surprising. So anyway, I was listening to music and just fantasizing, imagining this moment, singing and dancing at the club, shouting the lyrics with other people who know the lyrics and like looking at each other, having a good time. This was the scene in my head, right? It actually happened at the last goth night that I went to. So picture this, the fog machines, actually very foggy. Because sometimes, you know, there's a little fog, but you know, you could still generally see. I'm talking maximum fog all the way up. You can barely see anyone on the dance floor. They just look like silhouettes in the mist. That is the type of fog that I like to see. Editing me here. Oh my gosh, this is so funny because Aytakk just came out with a goth hip hop parody where he has a line talking about the fog and I'm sick, I'm sorry. He has a line about the fog, something about crank the goth machine, crank the fog machine up, I can still see my hands.
You want goth rap? I'll give you goth rap. It's dancing time! Blaze up that smoke machine, I can still see my hands! Get off my dance floor, else I scarecrow clothesline your ass!
And I was like, oh my gosh, me. Because that's exactly what I'm talking about here. Just like loving the fog machine cranked all the way up. But it certainly wasn't just me. Like a lot of people were very happy about it that day. And honestly, the clips I have from that day don't do it justice. I guess the camera picked up more details than you could actually see in real life. In real life, it just looked like silhouettes in the fog. And it was so amazing because it's like very atmospheric, which is one of the reasons, you know, we like it. But another reason is you feel like you can hide in the fog. You could dance, mind your business, and people aren't really gonna see you. So there's a lot of reasons to love the fog. But yeah, I just thought it was hilarious that Aytakk song mentioned that, and I had just recorded this like a few weeks ago talking about that, so lump that into my goth stereotypes, I guess. While all of this fog extravaganza is going on, I'm hanging out with some good friends who have come out to goth night. It's the first time that I've been to goth night with them, friends that I had way back in the day, and it was their first goth night for many of them actually. So at least it was their first Archem, very specific goth night where I'm from. I'm hanging out with them. Many of them don't want to dance, so you know, I'm just not making a big deal about dancing because I'm not trying to make anyone uncomfortable. But then Baby Turns Blue comes on and instantly I just jump up. I'm like, I gotta go. So I run down to the dance floor in this beautiful thick fog. I run into people that I know. Start dancing with them. There was like just enough space for me to join them. It was like meant to be. Start dancing with them and start singing the lyrics along with at least 2 other people in the circle. And oh my gosh, that moment made me so happy. During the moment, I was ecstatic. I was like jumping, dancing, screaming the lyrics, and I just love it. I love that moment. Like when you and another person know the words and you're just like singing it to each other. I know it sounds cheesy, but it made me so beyond happy. So I actually lived out one of my goth club fantasies. It was everything I ever dreamed it would be. It made me so happy. And that was my last goth night ever. Or at the very least, my last goth night in this city, because I'm moving. I'm moving. And if you saw my last video, which is called 2024 was the worst year of my life or something like that, that is very heavily related to why I'm moving. I have been living in my hometown, the town that I was born and raised in. I moved back here because of family illnesses. And while I love this town so much, it will always have a special place in my heart. There has just been too much pain and traumatic events that it is time for me to leave again. And I don't know if I'll ever come back, to be honest. My mom moved. Soon her parents are probably gonna move with her. Basically, all of my immediate dad's side of the family has passed, and my sister is probably gonna move as well. So my other sister already moved, and most of my best friends growing up moved as well. I did get to reconnect with some friends I mentioned, very cool people. Not that they're not worth staying for, but because of like all of the hard, difficult things I went through here. That's really why I'm trying to get out of here. That said, this town that I'm from is called El Paso, Texas, and it is virtually in the middle of nowhere because if a concert doesn't come to this town, you have to drive at least 4 hours to see the concert somewhere else, if not 6, if not 10, if not 12 hours. We're really in the middle of nowhere. That said, the goth scene in this town, it makes me so happy. It is a thriving scene. I feel like it is bigger than ever and only getting bigger. There used to be a goth club here that shut down in 2013, but the original goth night, Arkham, which has been going on since 1999, is still going on here, hosted by DJ Lady Di. She's incredible. Please follow her. All information in the description below. I will link her, plus the El Paso Goth scene on Instagram. Definitely follow them. Follow Virginia, who was my first friend that I made here at my first goth night that I went being back here.
This is Virginia! We just met at goth night. Both having a resurgence of our baby fat days. Yeah!
She's been in the scene a long time. We didn't cross paths before because I think our timelines didn't line up. We were both in and out of the scenes at different times, but our crosses path. Our paths finally crossed this time around. She's been so incredibly sweet and amazing, and she is creating Goth Night in Las Cruces, so definitely follow her. And again, I'll link other people that I've met and who were so great here in the scene. Oh, new DJ. I'm so bummed I never got to see her perform. DJ, is it Zombie Giovanna? Giovanna Zombie? Why am I forgetting? Yeah, DJ Zombified Giovanna. Got to see her at Goth Nights. We had like some mutual friends back in the day. We never met back in the day, which is wild. But yeah, I really wish I got to go see her DJ because I really like her style, her taste in music. So I'm bummed I never got to go there. So that brings me to the next point. I regret not going to more goth events while I was here in this town. To be fair, I moved here in December of 2022. And I went to my first event in September of 2023. So I was here for almost a year before I went to my first goth event. Specifically, I went to a goth event called Arkham, again, the longest running goth event in this city. They host one every month, first Friday of the month, and it's always at the same venue, so it's easy to remember. And out of the 16 months since my first one, I went to 8. So I went to exactly half since I started going. But that said, there are many other goth events in the city. Like I said, there's no more goth club that's specifically designated to goth music as far as I know. But there are other goth nights, other goth events. And unfortunately, I didn't get to experience any of them, which makes me sad because it makes me so happy that the goth scene is very much alive and well and thriving in El Paso, Texas. It always has been, but it's extra thriving now. It's an explosion, which I think is something that's happening in a lot of other places as well. I didn't get to go to any other goth night besides Arkham There was a lot going on in the last few years that I've been here. If you want to know more about that, you can watch my previous video that I mentioned, also linked in the description. But point is, I feel like I went to as many events as I could with dealing with what I was dealing with. That said, I wish that I had been able to go to other events. And honestly, I don't know what I would have done without Goth Night, especially this last year. Like I said, I went to 8 out of 16 events since I started going, and it really was a light in the darkness that was these last few years for me. It gave me something to look forward to. It made me feel like I was alive. It made me feel like life was worth living again. I know that might sound cheesy, but it really did. And yeah, I'm just really thankful to the goth scene here. I'm thankful to everyone and anyone who showed me kindness here. Super thankful to Virginia because she really became my go-to goth friend here. And got to have, I mean, like literally every single goth night I went to, I mostly spent with her. So huge shout out to Virginia. You can watch the interview I had with her here somewhere. I never remember which side it goes to. But yeah, she was kind enough to do an interview with me. I wish I was able to interview DJ Lady Di. I still want to do that. Probably will have to be virtual now. I was thinking about maybe doing it in person, but it will definitely have to be virtual. But I just have so much love and appreciation for the scene here. I have so much love and appreciation for the dark alternative scenes here in general because they're never not there. And even when there was kind of a dwindling like there was everywhere else and the goth club closed down, there's always a resurgence. There's always dark alternative, spooky goth people ready to make events happen. So I really appreciate that about this town. I'll always love this town, but it is time for me to say goodbye, you know? And it is bittersweet because of everything I went through. I just have to move on from the city, even though it's got a lot of beauty, a lot of wonderful things. It's just time for me to go. So I just wanted to appreciate my last goth night. I didn't get footage of my dream scene as I described because I was too busy dancing and having fun, but I did get some other footage as well. Right after the Virgin Prunes played, the Sisters of Mercy played, and the dance floor was actually full because I had previously made a video how the Sisters of Mercy was clearing the dance floor. I saw it happen on several occasions, but all is right in the world and everyone was dancing. To the Sisters of Mercy, the Virgin Prunes, just like everything. So if you're ever going through Texas, try to get to El Paso the first Friday of the month if you would like a really fun goth night, and follow El Paso goth scene so you can see what's going on in the El Paso goth scene.
Okay, I have my own little booth by myself. I was singing along to the Sisters of Mercy, so that was fun. And I'm like, really want to dance, but like nobody's dancing. Did I mention I'm alone and sober? Yeah. This is Virginia! Here we are! Round 2! Yeah. So last night I decided to take an edible before going out to Goth night, which I've never done before. I've gone to Goth night, but I've never taken an edible before going to Goth night. I'm not here to promote substance abuse or use, and yeah, I had a terrible time. I thought it was gonna be an amazing time. I thought I was going to get lost in the music, but instead I just got lost in my head and I had to leave after 40 minutes. I was like, I'm out of here, bye. So unfortunately it wasn't the good time I thought it was gonna be, but you know, you live and you learn. My last Goth night in Texas was so fun. Virgin Prunes, Baby Turns Blue played. That's all I needed. That's all I needed. It's probably my favorite, one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Goth songs ever. And that was like a magical moment. I'll talk about it more later because I feel like I look awful. But anyway, bye. I'm gonna miss it, but I know San Diego has a pretty amazing and thriving goth scene itself, so we'll see. Thanks for coming along with me to goth nights here that really, like I said, was a light in the darkness that was the last few years, so thank you. Thank you to everyone who creates art, who puts on events, who promotes events, who you know, just makes a community and makes a scene what it is. And thank you to all of you who have shown me kindness and interest here on this channel. It really has made a difference to me. So thank you, and take care of yourselves because it is the most important thing. And I will see you in the next video.